with before you came across 13 market moves?
Mixed, I would say, with a lot of up and down, but mostly losses. So a lot of losses. I had some wins, which kind of gave me hope that okay, I may have a future in this. But it really what it is the amount of savings that I have, right? So as much fuel, I guess, that I can put into this journey, I can go along. So I started, first off looking at different YouTube videos. Nowadays, a lot of material is available. So it's amazing what you can teach yourself. So I started off with some beginner videos for trading, I knew about the financial products, obviously, the derivatives, the options, the stocks, the bond market, and everything because of my previous job at the asset management firm. So that didn't come to me as a surprise, or the mathematical aspect or the statistical aspect of it. But obviously you don't know it until you know it, right? Until you get into it. So
yeah, you'd never know what you don't know.
Right, until you get. So I got into penny stocks, trading penny stocks, and then I think, in my opinion, that's the worst area to start because it's very volatile.
I'm curious, what are penny stocks?
Penny stocks, they're stocks that are under $10, and usually what you look for is, if there's high volume, if there's high momentum into the stock, and you put out scanners, and then you sit there basically with your scanners on, and you look for any stocks that are showing unusual activity. And then right at the bell ring, which is at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, it's this crazy this charade that you get into. You invest and you try to make a profit out of the stock going up or down. If you're shorting, you're going to be wanting the stock to go down. I never got into shorting it because I was always scared about borrowing the stock and what can happen because your downside is unlimited. So I never shorted stocks, but I was always going long. And that's very volatile because you really don't know what's going to happen the next second, whether the stock price is going to go up or down. So, with my little limited knowledge, I just got into it right away, which I shouldn't have. A lot of people paper trade. I didn't believe in paper trading because that thing, from the very beginning, I thought the psychological aspect is not covered in that. So I started off with penny stocks. And then I got into option trading. And, so that's where I discovered 13 market moves.
Oh, wow. So you would say that it helped you in a time when you needed more information in order to proceed in a more beneficial way, right?
Yeah. That and method to madness, right? So I was putting in a lot of hours after my work into researching this. So I came across a lot of educational videos about stock, investing, and as a trader. At least I think in a very little amount of time, I kind of had a sense of what would I need to be successful, or at least I had an idea. I just couldn't place my finger on it at that time. And then I came across some of the videos from 13 Market Moves on YouTube.
They came at the perfect time into your trading career, and also, how long did you spend studying the courses?
So it's an ongoing process. I would say I always go back and refer to some of the courses or the moves and so on and so forth. I go back to courses. Current like a back and forth. It's I think each time I develop a greater understanding. So I don't think I'll ever be satisfied with the amount of times that I've gone back, or the educational aspect of it.
At which point did you realize that okay, this is not enough? I would also like to start working with a trading coach.
Right at the very beginning. And my introduction to 13 Market Moves was, and I still remember it, 8, 9 months or 10 months ago, whatever have you, was a video from Leo, where he takes $4,000 to $60,000 or something. So the coolness factor in that, the psychological aspect, the calculation that must have went into that, because he was so sure of it as he executed the trade, and even when the trade was going against him. So that whole thing got me attracted to 13 market move. There is a method to madness in this, which actually works. The return percentage is crazy. It's amazing. It's like almost like crypto, 2 weeks ago, my trade in Roku yielded 2,300%. 23x in stocks that at least I haven't heard of. So
That's quite an achievement. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Will you tell us how you signed up for the program?
Right. So in their videos, they have a link below the YouTube video, the 20-minute market call session, and I kind of just clicked on that and scheduled a call, and that's where I got a call from at the scheduled time. And that's how my journey started.
Great. And let's talk a little bit expectation versus reality. What were you expecting going into this journey, and let's say what was the reality of your first week?
Yeah. So I saw when I guess I'm trying to think back to the time that I saw the videos, right? So expectations were a little high. That's to tell you the truth, because I saw these crazy returns, right? And then the first week was, I would say, educational in the very least, because I was in a few trades, and there are certain critical points of the trade that you get in, and sometimes the trade might be going in the opposite direction. These are basically trend reversal opportunities, and so what you have to understand from that is that you have to wait for the reversal to happen, and there's a probability percentage assigned to it, right? So therein lies the psychological aspect, because there you start to see pretty much losses were up to like 50%, 60%, 70% of your investment.
Yikes!
And at that time, in my from my previous experience, penny stock trading or large cap stocks or mid cap, I would have rules like, okay, I'm going to cap my loss at a certain percentage, right? But those were under different trends, right? When you've identified the trend reversal opportunity, you have to let the move happen, right? So you have to wait for it to happen. You can't jump out of it, because then you'll end up in a bigger loss than you ever had in any other strategy.
I do believe that it's quite a common error
Right.
that people do, right? They get spooked when the market's going down, they sell, and they end up to right back where they started.
Yeah, it's a huge psychological thing, right? So it's for me at least, if you're anywhere as competitive as I am, I start getting a feeling that, oh, I'm defeated by the market, or like this helplessness, because I'm seeing a loss and it's continuously increasing. So it becomes it becomes really challenging to stay in the trade, and you just pretty much want to jump out of it.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people, if they would lose 70K, it would blow their minds. They would say, oh my God, 13 market moves is a scam. Did those thoughts ever cross your mind?
Yeah, the thought that they were scam never did, for me at least. I'll tell you why. Because, again, when I watched the videos, like I said, it based off of my research, I just had a feeling that, these guys have those kind of calculations going. So I never doubted the system. I did doubt the fact that, okay, maybe this particular trade may not turn out to be the way, giving me all those profits per se. So, I had those kind of doubts.
Were they ever sustained by any negative reviews? Did you ever see any reviews or anything like that?
Yeah, so in the beginning when I was thinking about joining or taking the courses and joining the team or get a life coach from them. One of the comments that I read was, "Oh, I've been with Leo and only 20% of their trade work, and it's all a scam." If I look at the time span that I've been with them and calculate, the percentage of trades that have been success, and then the percentage of or the magnitude of the wins that I've had, it just completely surpasses, right? So I'll give you an example. You have, let's say, 20K, and you've invested in 4 different trades, right? This is $5,000, which may not be the case. You will balance out the trade depending on the correlation between the market conditions. So you won't necessarily be 5K. It's not as simple. But for simplicity's sake, you're $5,000 in each trade. Let's say even 2 of your trades don't work, right? But 3 of your trades work, and you have 1,000% or even 400, 500% profits in the other 2, and 1,000% in bond. So you're up all of a sudden. You're going to be 50,000, 30, 40, and you'll be well over $100,000 on a $20,000 investment. So right, so that kind of says something about that 25%. And then yeah, sure, there were times, to be honest, when out of those 4 trades, maybe 2 worked or even 1 worked. But even when that 1 worked, it just, like I said, it completely overshadowed the loss.
So basically, you did not want to give up no matter what, right? You were thinking, given enough tries, things would pick up.
Yeah, so that was a very difficult phase. If anything, with any kind of method that you're applying to your training, right, any calculations, you look at it over a span of time. And I think for me, it was maybe that difficult span of time, but also I was not completely, I didn't understand fully. So there was a lot of room for me to understand, the trade and how to be able to trade. So I think that a culmination of that and then mostly market conditions kind of led me to multiple losses. The one thing that kept me going was the belief in the system, basically.
Tell us more about your biggest loss.
Oh wow, yes. So my biggest loss came in a matter of, I would say, about 10 days or about a couple of weeks' time. And it was close to $70,000.
Oh.
$70,000 to $75,000. Yeah. You gotta know a thing or two about trading, right? You gotta have a good understanding, sound understanding of when to get into the trade, and when to get out, right?
How many trades would you say you did with Leo last week?
Close to 10 trades, or 8 trades at least, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
8 different stocks, yeah.
Could we show your account history for our viewers? Of course, all the numbers and important information.
Yeah, as long as the personal information is not, obviously. Sure.
Could you describe your experience in following Coach Leo or Coach Chris?
Sure. Well, so I started trading with Coach Chris, basically, and I've been with him for 5 months, and the experience was very good and very wonderful. So he's the person who kind of gave me a deeper understanding after learning the courses into very insightful and critical aspects of the courses and of trading. Right? So for example, and beyond the course. So for example, balancing the trade. How do you balance what industry sector stocks that you invest in? What is the correlation between different stocks, right? For example, what does it mean if online stocks are going up, to the retail stocks, right? So, if Amazon stock is going up, not necessarily Walmart stock can go up, it's going to go down, right? Because you're not going to go to retailers, you're just going to buy from online, right? And being able to calculate, your target, looking at different, pivot points, so on and so forth. So there's multitude of the things that I learned from Coach Chris, and from Leo as well. I've just started training with Leo. I just feel like there is so much more to learn now, right? So they have tremendous amount of experience behind them, and I just feel like I kind of got a shortcut, without actually going walking their path and spending time like years and years and getting to their level. They're like actually guiding me sort of like a fast track, super fast track.
Yeah, they kind of did the legwork so that you can run that a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
So Jay, what does it feel to win big as a trader? Because statistics tells us that actually 95% of people playing the game lose money.
Well, you feel like the king of the world, basically. It's very exhilarating, euphoric. I'm mindful of the fact that I can't be trading with euphoria, because then you build up expectations of the trade, the next trades, and so on and so forth. And then again, it becomes hard for you when the trade is not going in your direction.
So, out of all the 13 market moves, which one is your favorite and why?
I have two actually. I'd say move 2 and move 3. The market conditions are right. It's pretty like you can just sit back and relax and watch your profits grow. It's the best feeling, as opposed to the other moves. Pretty much in one direction, then the trade is going. Yeah.
Would you say that is the happiest moment of the week?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, I'm very happy.
And what about the scariest moment of the week?
Scariest moment, yes. Well, scariest moment, I think what it was being able to come back. Right? So if I had made that loss, the scariest part was, would I be able to get back up and get back into the game?
So what would you say is the main difference between studying the program and working with the coach?
So I think one is theory. Obviously, you learn it and you apply it. And when I did that, I should say that it helped me a lot with preventing me from getting out of the trades that I shouldn't, or getting into the wrong trades. But how should I put it? It's synonymous to, let's take doctor as a profession, right? As a doctor, medical doctor. So you study, being a doctor, but until you kind of practically implement what you learn, you don't really get the whole, package.
Yeah, you don't get the whole picture.
Yeah, picture. So trading with a coach, I would say, is as important, if not more important.
So to summarize, you've had a lot of success with 13 market moves. What would you like to say to fellow traders who have not reached that level of success yet?
Find yourself the right type of guidance. Right? Find yourself the right type of program. There's 50 million videos out there. There's as many coaches and self-proclaimed coaches out there that promise you 50, 60, 70, 100, 200% returns and so on and so forth. And if you, in your research, if you learn anything about trading, you should be able to understand and find for yourself the right type of guidance. So this is where I'm pointing to 13 market moves, because I don't know of any better program. So I would definitely say that give this program a try. At least watch the videos, try to understand what's going on. So consistent success, similar type of success with different people. What does that tell you? That the program works, right? It really does.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you.